Hey everyone, ready to get those abs we've always dreamed of? Well, today we're diving deep into Exercises to Burn Belly Fat by Victor Joseph.
Sounds intense.
Oh, it is. But it's more than just a list of crunches. This book goes way beyond that, talking about training principles and even unexpected things like kidney health and the history of exercise.
Whoa, I didn't realize there was so much to learn about exercise.
Right, and you know that myth about spot reduction?
Oh, yeah.
Like if you do tons of crunches, you can specifically target belly fat.
Yeah, I've always wondered about that.
Well, it turns out this book debunks that myth right away.
Really? So you're saying there's no shortcut to a flat stomach?
Afraid not.
Hmm. So what does the book say is a better way to burn belly fat?
Well, it emphasizes a more holistic approach.
Yeah.
It's not just about specific exercises. It's about how they fit into your overall fitness plan and lifestyle.
That makes sense. It's all connected, right?
Exactly. And before we move on, I have to mention Victor Joseph's dedication to this topic is amazing. He even thanks all his fellow trainers and mentors in the acknowledgments.
That's nice.
Yeah, you can tell this is more than just a job for him,
Definitely. Passion always makes a topic more interesting.
for sure. Okay, so the book starts with some basic definitions. Exercise, physical activity, physical fitness.
Ah, the fundamentals. We
R-
probably think we know these terms, but
But maybe we don't.
exactly.
It's important to get those clear in our minds because we tend to use them interchangeably, right? Like walking to work is physical activity, but is it really exercise?
Right. Right. That's a good example.
Yeah, so the book distinguishes between those things really well.
Cool. Okay, so let's get to the actual exercises. What are some of the best moves for torching those calories and targeting the core?
Okay, so first up, the burpee.
Oh, I've heard of those.
The book describes it as a dynamic, full-body workout.
Yeah, I can see why.
It combines squats, push-ups, and jumps all into one move.
Wow, that's a lot.
Intense,
Yeah.
but it can really get your heart rate up.
Definitely not for the faint of heart.
No, definitely not. It's important to start slow and be careful not to overdo it.
Yeah, safety first.
Always.
So, what about something a little less intense?
Okay, how about mountain climbers?
Oh, I like those.
Yeah, they're great for building cardio endurance and strengthening your core, and they're a bit more accessible than burpees, I'd say.
Totally. You can modify them based on your fitness level too, right?
Exactly.
I feel like they work those deep core muscles without putting too much stress on your joints.
Yeah. And the book talks about how they engage so many different muscle groups: shoulders, arms, core, quads, the whole shebang.
It's like a total body workout in one move.
Now, for something with a bit of history, the Turkish get-up.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
So this one dates back to like 18th century Turkish wrestlers.
Really?
Yeah, and strongmen. Basically go from lying down to standing up while holding a weight overhead.
Whoa, sounds complicated.
It is. It takes practice. But what I find fascinating about it is it's a great example of functional training. You know,
Functional training.
yeah, it's not just about isolating muscles, but about mimicking those movements we use in everyday life.
So it's about being able to, like, lift heavy groceries or play with your kids without hurting yourself.
Exactly. It builds strength and stability that you can actually use.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. What's next?
All right, ready to unleash your inner beast.
Always.
Medicine ball slams.
Ooh, those sound fun.
The book details a bunch of variations like side to side, overhead, all guaranteed to get your heart pumping.
I can imagine. So what makes them so effective?
Well, what's interesting is they initially target specific muscle groups, like your obliques and hamstrings. But as you get tired, almost every muscle in your body has to kick in to keep the movement going.
Wow, so it's like a full body domino effect.
Exactly. Now, if you thought burpees were tough, hold on tight because sprawls take things to a whole new level.
Sprawls, what are those?
The book describes them as burpees on steroids. You basically go from standing to a plank position, then back up again.
Oh, I see. So it's engaging both your upper and lower body.
Exactly. Super effective for building strength, endurance, and burning those calories.
Sounds intense. Is there a way to modify them?
The book suggests adding a jump between sprawls for an extra challenge.
Ooh, a jump. Okay, I'll have to try that.
Just make sure you have enough space. Would want to knock anything over.
Good point. I'll keep that in mind.
All right, let's move on to something that challenges both your core strength and your balance width. The Bosu ball plank.
I've seen those half ball things at the gym.
Yep, that's the Bosu ball. This exercise is like a step up from a regular plank because you're trying to hold that position on an unstable surface.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would definitely engage those core muscles.
Oh, you bet. My abs are already burning just thinking about it.
Huh. So what's the benefit of using the Bosu ball?
Well, the book explains that the instability forces those deep core muscles, like your abs, obliques, and transverse abdominis, to work even harder than a regular plank.
That makes sense. It's like adding an extra level of challenge.
Exactly. And last but not least, we can't forget about good old running. The book specifically recommends running on an incline to really maximize that calorie burn.
Oh, yeah. Incline running is tough.
It is, but effective. The book suggests alternating between jogging and running on an incline for the best results.
Yeah, I've heard that interval training can be really beneficial. Keeps things interesting, too.
Totally. So we've covered quite a range of exercises here, from basic to super challenging.
I'm definitely feeling inspired to get moving.
That's great. And what's even better is that the book provides detailed instructions and visuals for every single exercise. It's like having a virtual personal trainer right there with you.
Oh, that's super helpful, especially for beginners who might not be familiar with proper form.
Exactly. So are you ready to see how all these exercises fit into a complete fitness plan?
Absolutely. I'm curious to see what Victor Joseph recommends. So the book breaks down fitness training into these main categories: cardio training, strength training, and then flexibility and balance training. And it emphasizes how each one is like super important for overall fitness.
Oh, so it's not just about lifting weights or running on a treadmill.
Nope. It's about finding a balance between all three. Each one contributes to different aspects of your health.
Okay, so let's start with cardio training. We all know the usual suspects, right? Running, swimming, dancing.
Yeah, those are the classics.
The book talks about how they're good for your heart. But are there any other benefits besides that?
Oh, tons. Like better sleep, improved mood, even a boost in cognitive function.
Wait, really? Exercise can make you smarter.
Well, it can definitely help with things like memory and focus. Plus, those endorphins after a good workout, they can do wonders for your mood.
Yeah, those endorphins are no joke. Okay, so what about strength training? I feel like a lot of people, especially women, might be hesitant to do it.
Yeah, I get that.
They might think it's all about getting bulky. But the book kind of debunks that myth, right?
Oh, totally. It emphasizes that strength training is so important for weight management, bone health, even mental well-being.
Hold on. Mental well-being from lifting weights. How does that work?
It's fascinating, right? I think it's a combination of things. You build strength, you feel more confident, you accomplish something. It all contributes to a more positive mindset.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. Okay, now what about flexibility and balance training? I gotta admit, I sometimes skip that part.
It's easy to overlook, but it's super important, especially as we get older.
Yeah, I guess so.
The book highlights things like yoga and Tai Chi, and how they can help with back pain, stress reduction, and even preventing falls.
So it's not just about being able to touch your toes.
Nope. It's about improving your range of motion, your balance, and just like feeling more comfortable in your own body.
Okay, that makes sense.
Ugh.
Now, how do we actually put all of this together, all these exercises and training categories?
Well, the book talks about these 4 key principles of exercise training:
Oh, yeah.
specificity, overload, progression, and warm-up cool-down.
Okay, those sound important. Break those down for me. What does specificity mean?
Basically, it means tailoring your workouts to your specific goals. Like, are you training for a marathon or are you just trying to get stronger overall? Your training plan is going to look different depending on your goals, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what about overload?
Overload is all about gradually increasing the demands you place on your body. So you're constantly challenging yourself and improving.
So like lifting heavier weights or running longer distances.
Exactly. You got to push those boundaries a little bit at a time.
Okay, and progression, that's about not doing too much too soon, right?
Yep. It's about listening to your body and gradually increasing the intensity of your workouts. You don't want to jump from couch potato to marathon runner overnight.
That's a recipe for disaster.
Mm.
And lastly, warm up and cool down.
Hmm.
I know I should do them, but I'm always rushing.
I feel you. But the book really stresses how important they are for both safety and performance.
Okay, so what's the best way to warm up and cool down?
For warm-ups, light cardio and some dynamic stretching are great. And for cooling down, it's all about slowing things down gradually, maybe doing some static stretching.
Gotcha. I'll try to be better about that.
That too. It makes a big difference.
So this is where things get really interesting. The book actually dives into the history of exercise And it's not what I expected at all.
Right. It's kind of fascinating to see how exercise has evolved over time.
Totally. Like back in the prehistoric period, those nomadic hunter-gatherer societies, they were incredibly active.
Oh, yeah. It was all about survival back then. Hunting, gathering, constantly on the move. They didn't have gyms or fitness trackers. Movement was just a part of life.
It's mind-blowing to think about how much they must have moved every single day. And then in the agricultural period, people started settling down and farming, but the physical demands were still pretty high, right?
Oh, absolutely. Farming is no walk in the park. Plowing fields, harvesting crops, all that manual labor, it was a workout in itself.
No kidding. So when did things start to change?
Well, the big shift happened during the Industrial Revolution. Technology started advancing, jobs became more mechanized, and people started spending more time sitting.
Right, the rise of the desk job. And then in the 20th century, things just accelerated with cars and labor-saving devices.
Exactly. Suddenly, we didn't have to move as much to get things done.
And now in the 21st century, we're seeing this huge resurgence of interest in fitness. It's like we're trying to reconnect with that active past.
Yeah, it's like we're realizing that our bodies were meant to move. And with all these health problems linked to inactivity, exercise has become like a necessity again.
It's almost like exercise has come full circle.
Yeah.
From survival to leisure to necessity. Okay, get this. The book makes this connection between exercise and kidney health.
Yeah, that's an important one.
I never would have thought of that.
Right. But our kidneys are these amazing filters, and they need our help to function properly.
So how does exercise affect our kidneys?
Well, for most people, moderate exercise is actually beneficial for kidney health. It helps regulate blood pressure and improve blood flow, which is good for those organs.
Okay, so exercise is good, but what about people who already have kidney problems?
That's where things get a little tricky. They definitely need to talk to their doctor before starting any new exercise program.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
The book mentions that diet is a big factor too, especially for people with kidney issues.
Yeah, managing protein intake is key. Too much protein can put a strain on the kidneys.
So it's not just about working out, it's about being mindful of what you eat as well.
Absolutely. It's all connected. And of course, staying hydrated is super important for everyone, especially if you have kidney concerns.
Okay, now let's talk about something that often gets overlooked, the impact of exercise on mental health.
Yeah, it's so much more than just physical, right?
Right. The book lists all these amazing benefits for mental well-being. Can you share some of them?
Sure. Exercise has been shown to reduce stress, anxiety, and even depression. It can improve your mood, boost your self-esteem, and even sharpen your cognitive function.
Wow, it's like a wonder drug.
It really is. And there's even evidence that exercise can help with things like addiction recovery and sleep quality.
It sounds like exercise is a key to overall well-being.
I think so. When we take care of our physical health, our mental and emotional health benefits too. It's all interconnected.
Okay, let's dive into the science a bit. The book talks about epidemiological studies that link a sedentary lifestyle to a higher risk of heart disease. Can you explain what those studies are about and why they're important?
Sure. So epidemiological studies are basically these large-scale studies that look at patterns of health and disease in populations.
Okay, so like big data for health.
Yeah, exactly. And the studies the book mentions show a strong link between inactivity and a higher risk of developing heart disease.
So basically, if you sit around all day, you're more likely to have heart problems.
That's the gist of it, yeah. But the good news is that exercise can significantly reduce that risk.
So we have the power to change our health outcomes. The book even mentions a study on San Francisco longshoremen, right?
Oh, yeah. It showed that the longshoremen who had physically demanding jobs had a lower risk of heart disease compared to people with more sedentary jobs.
There's another study about Harvard graduates, right?
Yep, that one showed that those who were more physically active had lower mortality rates from heart disease.
So no matter who you are or what you do, being active can make a huge difference in your health and lifespan.
Exactly. It really is like medicine,
Right.
not a magic bullet, but a powerful tool for preventing disease and living a longer, healthier life.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive so far, from debunking fitness myths to exploring the history and science of exercise, and even the connection between exercise and kidney health. Wow. What are your main takeaways from all of this?
Well, I think one of the biggest takeaways is that burning belly fat, or any fat for that matter, is not about spot reduction.
Right.
It's about adopting a holistic approach that includes a variety of exercises, a balanced diet, and just taking care of your overall health.
Yeah, it's about making sustainable lifestyle changes, not looking for quick fixes. And we've also learned that exercise is so much more than just a physical thing. It's a journey through history, a connection to our ancestors, and a powerful tool for mental and emotional well-being.
Exactly. It's about understanding the why behind the what, you know? Movement is a fundamental part of who we are as humans, not just some chore we have to do to look good.
Totally. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a question to ponder. Knowing how transformative exercise can be, how can we shift our perspective from viewing it as a burden to embracing it as a form of self-care and empowerment?
That's a great question. I think it's about finding joy in movement, exploring different activities, discovering what really speaks to you. Maybe this deep dive has sparked some inspiration for you to get out there and move.
I hope so. Even if it's just a small step, every bit of movement counts.
Hmm.
Lace up those sneakers, find a workout buddy, and enjoy the incredible journey of fitness. Who knows what amazing discoveries await?
And remember, it's never too late to start. Your health and well-being are worth it.
It's amazing how much we've learned about exercise, from its ancient roots to the latest scientific research.
It all comes back to that fundamental idea that movement is truly a part of who we are. Like we were designed to be active, but we've kind of lost touch with that along the way.
Yeah, and what I love about this book, Exercises to Burn Belly Fat, is that it explains not just the what, but also the why. Like, why is it so important to move our bodies?
Exactly. We've talked about, debunking that whole spot reduction myth,
Mm-mm.
the importance of a holistic approach, the different types of training, and even that surprising connection between exercise and kidney health.
It's fascinating. But for me, the most powerful takeaways are those mental and emotional benefits. It's like
All right.
exercise isn't just about physical fitness.
Yeah, I agree. It's like a form of self-care for your mind and body.
Totally. And the book backs it up with science too, right? Like those epidemiological studies that link a sedentary lifestyle to heart disease.
Oh, yeah. Those studies are pretty eye-opening. It's like, whoa, sitting around all day can actually be dangerous.
Makes you want to get up and move.
For sure. But the good news is that we can make positive changes.
Mm-hmm.
It's never too late to start incorporating more movement into our lives.
Exactly. Even small changes can add up over time.
Absolutely. It's about finding what you enjoy, what fits into your lifestyle, and just making it a habit. It doesn't have to be this big, overwhelming thing.
So as we wrap up our deep dive, what's one key message that you hope our listeners take away from this?
I think the most important thing is to remember that exercise is not a punishment. It's not a chore.
Right.
It's a celebration of what our bodies can do, a way to feel good, to challenge ourselves, and just experience the joy of movement.
I love that. So well said. I hope our listeners feel inspired to get moving.
Yeah.
Whether it's trying a new workout, being a little more active in their daily routine, or simply shifting their mindset to embrace movement as self-care. Every little bit counts.
It really does. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination. There'll be ups and downs.
Yeah.
You might face challenges, but just keep moving, keep exploring, and keep learning.
And that's a wrap for our deep dive into exercises to burn belly fat. We hope you've enjoyed this exploration as much as we have.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And we hope you feel empowered to start your own fitness journey no matter where you're at.
That's right. Until next time, stay curious, stay active, and stay healthy.
See you next time.